Hello students, welcome to the theatre class back again. And I hope you all are doing good and you're taking adequate and appropriate measures in order to keep you and your family safe. So let's begin with today's class. So in this video, we'll be talking about how to write scripts. Yes, we'll be talking about how to make stories, how to build stories and write play scripts. So let's begin with the class and let's see how it goes. So there are certain things which we should know before script writing. Whenever we start writing a script, we should know few things beforehand, and those things are like we should know the message, the topic or the theme. So the first thing we should know before script writing is the topic. What is the topic we are going to write about? What is the message we are going to give to our audience, and what is the purpose behind performing this play? So all of it we should keep in our mind, and we should be very clear that what is the topic we are going to present to the audience. Second thing we should talk about is target audience. So before writing a play, we should know that what is the target audience we are going to cater. Like if the audience is in the school, they are the school students, or they are the health workers, or they are the police, or they are the lawyers. So what kind of audience, or general public, like if you do a performance in the public place, so general public. So we should know that what is the target audience we are catering, so that we can build our performance according to that target audience, and so that the audience will relate themselves with the script, with the storyline, and they'll enjoy the show. So target audience. The third thing, important thing we should know is that what is the duration of the performance? Like for how long you need to perform. You are writing a script, but how long you need the script? Like for 10 minutes, 15 minutes performance. So we should know that what is the duration of our performance. And there's another thing we should know is that where are you going to perform? Like what would be the venue? If it is going to be the amphitheater, if it is going to be a public place, if it is going to be a stage. So we should know beforehand that what is the venue we are performing at, so that we can write our script according to that. So these are the few things we should know before writing a script, and let's move ahead. So if you are a script writer and you are writing a script, what is the aim of the script writer? So I would say the aim of the script writer throughout the story is just one. The aim is to engage audience. So this is the job of a story writer. You write your story in such a way that the audience is engaged all the time. Most of the time, all the time, audience is engaged with you, and so that audience doesn't get bored and they don't move out anywhere. So you need to be very cautious, very creative when you are writing a script. So that's what all we need, and let's go on to script writing. Now when we start our script writing, so what we do is we gather all the information we require regarding the same topic or the subject which we are writing. Suppose we are writing a script on environment, or environment, it's a very big topic. So if we talk about air pollution, so whatever the topic is, like we gather all the information related to our topic. So what all can be shown? So we make a huge list, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do this. So all of it, whatever can be shown, we make a list of it, like the facts and figures, the recent developments, what people are doing in order to solve it, what people are doing in order to increase the issue, what is right, what is wrong. So all of it, whatever you can think of, it's there in your mind that you need to show. You plan everything and make a list out of it. And the moment you have the list, then you should yeah, the moment you have the list, then you would know that what can be shown, like what you can show and what you can't show. So you can pick this one, you can leave this one. So it's up to you what you are going to show and what you're going to leave. So when we are ready with the whole list, after that, in order to build our scenes, what we do is, what I do personally, that's my way of writing a script, is I make circles, huge circles. And once these circles are made, these circles are scenes. So if I have the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so if I have the list, then I take 1, 2, 3 here, 5, 6, 7 here, 8, 9, 10 here. So I divide my information, my list information, into these circles. And there can be another circle which is a narrator. So how narrator moves, how narrator tells the story. So this comes under the narration part. Now we have the list, we segregated all the information we had, all the possibilities we wanted to show into the scenes. Now let's move to story building and script writing. Actually, how to write. So once we have all the information we have gathered, we have made our plotting, we made the list and we did plotting. Now let's move forward. So when we start writing scenes, when we build our scenes, there are a few things we should know beforehand, or we should actually consider before writing a script or while writing our script. These things are: first, when we write a script, the emotions should vary. Like when you write a storyline, suppose if there is a happy scene, so right after the happy scene there should be a different emotion, so which gives weight to the emotion. So a sudden cry after a loud laugh. So emotion should vary. Now when you are planning for your situations, like what are you going to show in the performance, so they should be creative and interesting situations, because if your play, a normal situation would be there, then it would drag the play. So every time you need to think of interesting situations. What is happening? There is something special going on, interesting going on, or a few decision making, like people are stuck on how to take decisions. So creative situations we require when we write a script. Now what are we going to show can also be answered by these questions, like what happened, when happened, why, where, how, etc. So the whole WH family is quite helpful in this process. So we can build our scenes on these points as well, like what happened, how happened, so all of it. Now this is a very important, like this is whenever we start a play, we write a scene. So in the scene there are characters, and when we are bringing those characters, it is very important to establish your character, to introduce your character. Sometimes narrator introduces characters, or the other ways character they comes. But within the dialogues, it is very important to establish one character and then continuing with the story. Now when we write our dialogues, so in the dialogues there are few things we should take care of. First is, let the actor act and speak less. What happens is, we try to write down so many dialogues which are not required. So things can be shown just by an act, just by looking at someone, and the audience will understand what are they talking about. So it is not important to write 4 or 5 page dialogues if it can be shown in just one expression or your gesture. So if it can be shown in the expression or the gesture, do it. Don't write it, because writing long scripts doesn't take you anywhere and it loses the interest of the audience. So gestures and expressions. Now again the same thing, demonstrate visually. So rather than speaking your dialogues, you can demonstrate it visually, which is more powerful to the audience, more impactful. Now dialogue should be connected to the character's desire line. Now what is the character's desire line? We'll talk about it. but all the dialogues should be connected to the character, the mood of the character, the feeling of the character. So you need to, when you write, beforehand itself, you need to write a character by being a character. You need to think like that character, that how this character will walk, how this character will actually speak, what is the tone. So we need to write things according to the character. Now, so the dialogue should be connected to the character design and what the character wants. And according to that, the dialogues will be written. Now, this is the most important thing. Like, this is the most common mistake people do. That is, don't repeat. If something has been said before by the narrator or by someone else, you don't need to repeat it again. Like, I've seen a couple of stories where people actually explain what they are going to show in the scene beforehand, which is wrong. We should not be telling what are we going to show in our play beforehand. So please don't do that. Don't commit this mistake, and that's how we can make our script much better. Now let's come to a graph here. This is a simple graph. Let me write it down again for you. It is not very clear. So we start from here, and we start from okay. So we start from here, and this is our protagonist. Now our protagonist takes the play here for some time, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. It depends upon the duration of the whole performance. It depends upon that. But so first we get the protagonist here. We introduce our protagonist. So this is the duration where we are introducing the protagonist. And once we have introduced our protagonist, then this point is where protagonist wants something. So this is the protagonist's want. Once the protagonist has established its want, then the storyline moves forward. Now the story building, the story has started from here. Once we have established the want, the story has started building. So now this all part is story building. Whatever we have done here, this is story building. Now here is the climax. What is the climax? Climax is actually the point where our protagonist gets what he wants. So here, or if he doesn't get, but we get the result, like if the protagonist got what he wanted or he didn't get. So in both the cases, whether the protagonist gets it or doesn't get it, but we get an answer that gets it or doesn't get it. So it gets finalized. So this is the place, and this is the place which we call climax. So where protagonist either gets it or don't get it. So we get to know. And then after that there is a following action. So what would be the following action? So this is how we write a story. So the whole storyline, we establish the protagonist, establish the want of the protagonist, building the whole storyline, building scenes, 1, 2, 3, dialogues and everything. By the end, we reach to the climax where protagonist gets or doesn't get, and then finally following action. So that's how we write our scripts. And now when you would be writing your dialogues, in the script, there is one very important thing we should do. And that important thing is, whenever you're writing a dialogue of a character, yes, suppose if I'm a character Ram and I'm saying, no, I don't want this. So, along with this dialogue, no, I don't want this, explanation that what the character is doing, what is the mood of the character. So, if there is any important thing related to that dialogue, like if character turns behind and then say this dialogue, so all that related information to the dialogue should be written in the brackets, and that is very, very important. Now, I would want you guys to write a script on any topic you want and bring it in the next class, or just write it for yourself, so that in the next class, when I'll be talking more about script writing, when we'll be actually working more on the script. See, we'll use the whole script throughout the month. The script you will write, we'll use the same script throughout the month, and we'll be working in that script itself. So we'll be adding music to it, we'll be adding songs to it, we'll be having an acting session on the script. So please do write your script. Maybe it can be a small one, it can be a big one, 2-page, 3-page, 4-page, that depends on you, but do write. And in order to write your script, the very first thing, the most important thing we need is start writing. Because the moment you start writing, then only you can finish. And if you don't start, then you won't finish ever. So start writing your script, finish it, make it nice to the audience, and let's see in the next class if we can improve more on your script. So thank you so much, students. That's all for today, and I'll see you back again.